Hi everyone, I am here with a Bible study. I hope you guys are having a good evening. Today we'll be in Proverbs. And the devotion that I'll read after I read Proverbs chapter 11. The Bible verse that goes with the devotion is Proverbs chapter 11 verse 25. And it says, "Whoever brings blessings will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered." Now I will read all of chapter 11 of Proverbs. Let me see how long it is so I can let you guys know it's not that long. Proverbs is really good. Okay, let's get started. The Lord abhors dishonest scales, but accurate weights are his delight. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. But the humility comes wisdom. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless make a straight way for them, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. The righteous of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are trapped by evil desires. When a wicked man dies, his hope perishes, and all he expected from his power comes to nothing. And you know what else? He loses his soul, and his soul is in eternal damnation in fire with Satan, being tortured every second of your life forever. Just to be wicked on this earth and get what you want on this earth. Some people are just plain evil. They do not care. They are just plain evil. All he expected from his power comes to nothing. The righteous man is rescued from trouble, and it comes on the wicked instead. With his mouth, the godless destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous escape. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Through the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wicked it is destroyed. A man who lacks judgment derides his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy man keeps a secret. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but many advisers make victory sure. He who put up security for another will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to strike hands in pledge is safe. A kind-hearted woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. A kind man benefits himself, but a cruel man brings trouble on himself. The wicked man earns deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward. The truly righteous man attains life, but he who pursues evil goes to his death. The Lord detests the men of perverse heart, but he delights in those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. The desire of the righteous ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked only in wrath. One man gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. People curse the man who hoards grain, but blessing crowns him when he is willing to sell. He who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to him who searches for it. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will strive like a green leaf. He who brings trouble on his family will inherit only wind, and a fool will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. If the righteous receive their due on earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner? True, true, true. Amen for that. I know when it was talking about like the people being sad when a good person dies, a righteous person dies, but shouting with joy when bad people die. That is so true, because I used to watch ID a lot. You know, it's true, like murder investigations and stuff. Investigation Discovery, they're all true stories. And there was this one on there one time. It was just a small town. I don't remember the people's names, the guy's name. But he like bullied everybody in that town. Because it was a very, very small town. Probably like the one I used to live in. I mean, like a handful of people. Everybody knew everybody, and everybody in your family. I mean, it was little. They knew you since you were born. You knew each other. Anyway, he was mean to everybody. Everybody wanted this guy gone. Because he beat up everybody. The slightest little thing would tick him off, and he'd just beat you up. Everybody was in fear for their life with this guy. He done so many bad things and hurt so many people. And I think one of the neighbors actually ended up killing the guy. But the people all was glad and rejoiced that this guy actually killed that bad guy. That they were free of him. They were all so excited that he was gone. I don't know, I'm guessing the guy that killed him probably got in trouble. But I'm just saying, that happens. Just like they had shouts of joy when Jesus was dying. When they had him hung on the cross, there were shouts of joy there too. Shouts of joy for Jesus being hung on the cross. Don't that make you sick? An innocent man who saved all of us. All we have to do is help ourselves to get there, to be saved, to believe. And he saved us all. His blood covers over all our sins. And they laughed at his death. They laughed at him while he was up there dying on the cross. They shouted for his crucifixion. All right, now I'll read the devotion, guys. This one is by Diane Neal Matthews, and I believe she has wrote some before. Years ago, I was at one of the lowest points of my life, weighed down by family and personal problems. Prayer, support from friends kept me going, but I felt so useless, unfit for ministry, like I had nothing to offer anyone. During the 3-hour drive to my usual writers' conference, I poured out my heart to God. I told him how tired I was of being so needy. Lord, I begged, please just let me be a blessing to somebody this week. By the time I arrived at the busy conference, I'd forgotten about that prayer, but God didn't. You know God didn't. You ask for a prayer, God will hear it. He may just have a different answer to give than what you want, but he hears every prayer. He did not forget. She might have forgot, but he didn't. And you'll probably see that here. During registration, I met a young woman who showed how God had orchestrated her attendance. Even though she had just started her teaching career, the public school principal gave her time off to go to the Christian conference and even obtained funding to cover all her expenses. Early the next morning, we chatted again, and I explained how the sign-up sheets worked. Each time I saw her, I asked how things were going. After we spoke on the 4th day, she started to walk away, then hesitated. I just want you to know what a blessing you've been to me this week, she said. Every time I had a question, you were there. Each time I felt unsure or confused, I turned around and there you were. Hate these emotional things. It was like God, she was the angel she was an angel for that woman. You never know what somebody's going through behind the scenes. They could look like the happiest person, like they have it all on the outside, but they could be hurting so deeply on the inside that you don't even know. I turned around and there you were. All I remember from that conference is how her words revived me. What a privilege to be able to lift up another person's spirit. All that's required of us is simply to imitate Jesus. We're supposed to be like Jesus. So ask yourself every time before you do something, am I doing this like Jesus would do this? Would Jesus do this the same way I am? Am I bringing honor and glory to Jesus by doing it this way? And the best part, the blessing bounces right back to us. Note to self, sometimes when I feel like I need encouragement, what I really need is to encourage somebody else. You don't know how good that makes you feel. Makes me feel a lot better helping somebody else instead of myself. Makes me really, really, really happy. And that was by Diane Matthews. And let's see the homework for tonight if you guys want to do it. Find a hymn, a church song, or go online to read the words of the old song, Make Me a Blessing. You could probably find it on YouTube, Make Me a Blessing. Sing or read the words to Jesus as a Prayer. So go to YouTube and look up Make Me a Blessing. It's a song. And either sing it to Jesus or read the words aloud as like a prayer to Jesus. That one doesn't seem hard at all to do. Especially since we're all supposed to be inside most of the time now with this horrible virus going around. But remember, our governor said we are able to go out. We just got to stay, 6 feet or so away from everyone to keep more people safe. But if you need to go to the grocery store, you can still go. If you need to go to the doctors, you can go to your doctor if your doctor's still open. He said you can take walks, walk your dog, go to national parks still. Just, just to play out, so the kids can play outside in the yard. You can go help a neighbor. They encourage you going to help your neighbors. You're allowed to drive somewhere to help someone. So it's still basically like the same thing, but we're supposed to stay in if it's basically not an emergency thing. So we all got time to do what this homework says. Even with kids. I know how it is with kids because I got 8 nieces and nephews. And trust me, I was there with them since they were born. And I took care of them too. I've had 5 kids at once taken care of or more. Little ones. I know what a job it is. And I know it's hard to get them all down at once, taking a nap and everything. But when they're in bed, all sleeping and everything, you got time for yourself a little bit. And maybe you can try this tonight. You always got to make a little time for Jesus. And do you know you don't have to sit down and pray. You don't got to go to church and pray. Don't make somebody make you believe that. Because you can talk to Jesus anywhere you are. And he will hear you. He doesn't care if you only pray for him at church. You're supposed to talk to him anywhere you are. He's your brother. God is our Father. All throughout the day when you're helping your kids do stuff or you're doing stuff and you're really busy, just talk to Jesus in your mind. He knows what's in your thoughts. He knows what's in your heart. He knows everything, so he can understand what you're saying in your mind to him. I do that all the time. All the time. I'd go crazy if I didn't. And trust me, it'll make you feel so much closer to God if you do. And you can get through things a lot easier because you know Jesus is right there with you. Because I'm right here talking with him. I know he hears me. I know he hears what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. I know he's right here with me. I can do this now. So that was the devotion for tonight. And please pray for each other. Please pray for your neighbors. Check on them if you can. Our neighbors a lot of them are elderly. Like my friend that gave us this book to read. She's the oldest one in here right now. She's 81. I'm really worried about her. I think Sherm's going to go up there and check on her later to see if she's, still doing okay. She's got home health aides and stuff every day, but still, Want her to know that we're here, we care, and if she needs help, here's our number, you know. So let's go over our verses we're supposed to be remembering before we get done with this. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Or I can do all things through him who gives me strength, which is Jesus Christ. Okay, Hebrews 13:8. This is an important one. They are important, but remember this. Especially in this time, because a lot of people will change. A lot of people are going crazy. The lieutenant governor was on there speaking yesterday about people getting in fist fights over toilet paper. Why not take what you need and share with somebody else? You're supposed to help each other, not act like animals. The dogs and stuff we got here don't even act like that. People are acting crazy when stuff like this happens. It's like they see one person doing it and a bunch of others join in. But you know what? Jesus is always the same. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. These people might change on you and you'll see how crazy they can get doing this stuff, but Jesus will never change through this whole thing, and when this whole thing is over, he will still be the same, right there with you. You can always talk to him. He will never, ever change on you. And I pray you're all able to get food easily to cover you through this until it's back to normal again, and you can all get your necessities you need, like toilet paper and all that. People need to learn to share with one another, help each other. It's really sad. And last but not least, Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times. At all times. You may be seeing that during this virus thing, when we're all stuck in and some people getting grouchy and other people abandoning you. They turn their back on you. They don't want nothing more to do with you. They get crazy and get obsessive about things, and you get in fights over it, and you find out who your true friends are when bad times come along. A good friend's going to stick by you and help you. If your good friend's got a cart full of toilet paper, or even one pack and you have none, a good friend would bring you a roll or two. They wouldn't just hide it and stock up and not even let you know they had it. No, a good friend will help you. If you don't got food and they do, they'll have you for dinner or bring you a plate over. We're supposed to help each other. Are you going to be proud of yourself when this time is over? Or are you going to be disappointed in yourself? Because the world will get through this. We will get through this eventually. Some of us won't make it, some of us will. I hope to God all of our families, whoever's watching this, and ourselves are protected from it and none of us get it. But a lot of people have already lost their lives and lost loved ones. So many so far, so many. So many people need your prayers. It's just horrible. Just please try to be nicer to each other. You don't want the last person, the last thing they know when they're dying from this is that, their loved one's still suffering and has nothing. They will not go peacefully, knowing that. Just think about it. Would you, if you was dying and you knew your child or whoever you was closest to had no money and the stores were out of food, had nothing in the house, no toilet paper, shampoo, whatever, had nothing, and nobody was helping them, people was just going around for themselves, helping themselves, do you think that person would die peacefully or be worried to death and die miserable, worrying about their loved one? How they're going to survive and be safe because they're not able there to help them anymore. Just think about those things before you do anything. Before you act, remember, Jesus is with you And would Jesus do what you are doing? Because he's right there with you. Are you making Jesus proud? Or are you committing a sin and making Jesus very sad? I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I hope you guys have a good night's sleep. Good night, guys. Stay safe.